Hey guys, I'm Dean Bercovitch with Ski Addiction.
And I'm Aidan Mulvihill with Ski Addiction.
We're here to show you guys what pretzeling is all about. First, you have your hold back, which is where your off-axis trick at the very end of it holds back to land switch or forward, depending what you choose. It locks into the flip axis and holds you back. Then we have our pretzel, air pretzel, which actually spins one way on takeoff, and then as you come out of the trick or at some point in the trick, pretzels and spins the other direction to come down into landing. Usually done more than a 180 degrees. I got Aidan here with me today. He's a current Big Air World Cup skier. He's also innovating some of these pretzel tricks you might be seeing. What is pretzeling? Well, Aidan will show us one right away. All right, so that's like our cork 7 takeoff where he like brings it back and spins the other direction to come into landing. And essentially what the pretzeling is. Take off, spinning one direction, and at some point in the trick, come back down, spinning the other direction. It is physically possible. Sounds crazy, but biomechanically it can happen. We'll get into it in some other videos, but for today we want to show you guys a little bit of a breakdown on some of them. So Aidan just did that cork 7 one. I'm gonna see if Aidan can show us some progressions. Do you have some progressions?
Yeah, I can totally show you some progressions. So to start, we'll do a normal cork 7 progression, wrapping all the way around back to forward. Just a normal one. Up, normal, and back.
But the cork 7, right?
Yeah.
2 parts.
And then the next step is going to be doing the exact same thing, but when you go around, you spot the wall and slam your feet straight back down. So cork 7 progression up and then stop.
Yeah. All right, so everything's the same up until he lands on his back, and it's from his back up that he starts to make changes, and he's holding it back by spotting behind him, right? Cool, I guess we have one more progression on it?
Yeah, one more progression and it's bringing it back to forward. So we're gonna do that exact same cork 7 progression to our back, and then we're gonna go in the air up and bring it back to forward. So cork 7 progression and then back to forward. Little bit hectic.
Yeah, it's a little hectic, and they usually are, especially when you're first learning them.
Yeah.
There's a lot of hula hooping, or you can, hula hoop motion going on there, or kind of wacky wild arms. And it's really, really normal. But when you're first trying to play with these or try to kind of wrap your mind around it, do those kind of progressions where you really feel coming off of your back. When you land on your back, it gives you a moment to resist against something before trying to spin the other direction. Or in the air, you've got nothing. That's why you see people moving around, arms around, trying to push against air, which doesn't work.
Yeah.
Cool. Do we have some more examples we can show? Do we have some?
Yeah, so we can do the switch rodeo one. I put it in quotes because it's really, really flippy. So it's not the most beautiful axis.
Nice.
That.
Cool. So that one, what Aidan's saying is that he's really flippy, right? What he means by that is that he would switch on takeoff, and then he makes sure to go really on the loop axis where his head goes right underneath his feet, right? He's spinning around this axis around this way. I say would be because he folds in, and if you see in the video, his head's not actually below him, right? Because he folds in, but essentially it is a very flippy act is what we would call it, making it easier to spin out the other direction. And for demonstration, I'm gonna see if Aidan can show us what we can call a regular switch rodeo 5 instead of that pretzel version on that same axis on takeoff.
Yeah.
All right, so it'll be a flippier switch rodeo 5 to the left.
Yeah.
That's it. Good. So that's our regular one. He takes off spinning switch left, finishes spinning left. Now I'm gonna ask him to do the hold back version, which is the same takeoff, but instead of coming down, landing forwards by spinning left in, he's gonna just hold his feet back and he's gonna land switch again. So it'll be a switch 3 essentially.
Yeah, let's try it.
Nice. That's that same takeoff on that kind of loopy flip axis, and then instead of letting it open and finish at the end that it naturally wants to do, just kind of kicks his feet out, and that holds his feet into that same axis to not spin it all into it or out of it at the end.
Yeah.
Now we'll show that the same full trick one more time. So you'll see that hold back, but instead of letting it sit back, he's gonna actually bring it back to the right of the M and spin to the right.
Yeah.
Nice. Nice. Those are quite clean. A lot of people who travel the first time, especially first times, are spinning around pretty wild. But Aidan's done quite a lot, and he's quite natural with them. What would you say is your favorite pretzel trick right now?
Right now, probably the cork 7, bring back to forward. So cork 3, and then this one as well, the switch 1. They're both like, you can tell they're pretzels, and they feel kind of crazy, so they look cool too.
Pretty crazy. Something I wanted to just mention quickly, and it's something we see and we hear about in the competition world right now with these pretzel tricks, is how to label them. So you'll see people doing different ones where they take off kind of on a flippier with not as much spin, and then they come back the other direction, or some that are spinning hard on one way on takeoff, and then they pause in the middle of the air, get them flip before they come back the other way. But really, in freestyle, all the tricks are labeled by the accumulative of the rotations done. What I mean by that is that if you spin a 360 in one trick and you also do a backflip in one trick, so like a cork 7 or a back full or anything that has a flip and a spin in it, we take the flip 360 and the spin 360 and we put it together to be a 720. Okay? So if you do a cork 7, it has a flip and a spin in it, regardless of the axes, it's a 720-degree rotation. When we start playing with these pretzel tricks, so is it a 720 minus a 180 to be a 540? Could be, but in freestyle, we kind of just put all the rotations together, and if there's a full flip and there's a full twist, it has to be a 720. So it's still up for debate, and some people are calling it a cork 360 in this case that Aidan said. Is it actually? Did you do a full flip in there?
Yeah, I guess.
I mean, you come off of your feet, you went off axis, and you came back to your feet. So there was a full flip of some sort in there, right?
Yeah.
And then, did you do a full spin of rotation?
No, you did like half a spin.
Come back.
You
did a right 180. Sorry, you took off to the left. You did a left 180. And then at the end, you come technically back a right 180.
Yeah.
So it's a 180 and a 180 is a 360, regardless of the direction of spin. And this is where the debate is. Like, mechanically speaking, he did 720 degrees of rotation. There's a flip, 360, a 180 to the left, and a 180 to the right. 720. Technically. But in freestyle, we're going to be labeling things a little different. And, you know, and someone like Aidan, who's innovating some of these skills, if there's somebody and people who have the right to be able to label it and call it as they will, it is him. So we're going to call this one the cork 3 for now, and definitely for our labeling terms.
Sweet, yeah.
Cool.
Amazing.
Hey, thanks guys. I'm Dean Bercovitch from Ski Addiction, helping you guys pretzel.
Woo.